This is the construct. It's our loading program. We can load anything from clothing to equipment, weapons, training simulations, anything we need.
Right now, we're inside a computer program?
Is it really so hard to believe? Your clothes are different, the plugs in your arms and head are gone. Your hair has changed. Your appearance now is what we call residual self-image. It is the mental projection of your digital self.
This isn't real.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. This is the world that you know. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix. You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world as it exists today. Welcome to the desert of the real. We have only bits and pieces of information, but what we know for certain is that at some point in the early 21st century, all of mankind was united in celebration. We marveled at our own magnificence as we gave birth to AI.
AI? You mean artificial intelligence?
A singular consciousness that spawned an entire race of machines. We don't know who struck first, us or them. But we know that it was us that scorched the sky. At the time, they were dependent on solar power, and it was believed that they would be unable to survive without an energy source as abundant as the sun. Throughout human history, we have been dependent on machines to survive. Fate, it seems, is not without a sense of irony. The human body generates more bioelectricity than a 120-volt battery and over 25,000 BTUs of body heat. Combined with a form of fusion, the machines had found all the energy they would ever need. There are fields, endless fields, where human beings are no longer born. We are grown. For the longest time, I wouldn't believe it. And then I saw the fields with my own eyes. Watched them liquefy the dead so they could be fed intravenously to the living. And standing there, facing the pure, horrifying precision, I came to realize the obviousness of the truth. What is the Matrix? Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo. I just said it would be the truth.
Stop. Let me out.
Shalom. All praises to Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. And waters to the apostles before us. And then peace to you sincere brothers out there. The true house of David. And what I wanted to do is, I wanted to go into John the 10th chapter. As you just seen the clip right there, Morpheus. talking to Neo, letting him understand that everything is just, shit is not real. And this time you have to actually analyze the real from the fake. And one thing that Yahawashi said that really stuck with me, he said, he is the way, he is the truth, and the light. And then he said all that ever came before him was thieves and robbers. So you have to keep that in mind when you're dealing with this truth. So basically, I want to get into John the 10th chapter, because what you got to understand about this truth, you can come up the right way through Yahawashi, or you could come up another way. There's only two ways, the right and the wrong way. And through the spirit, you're going to have to see this thing for yourself. What's going on in today's world right now, as with this truth, and just like the world, the world is simulated. Like Morpheus showed the battery. That battery in the back represents the people, and all they're doing is powering this society by their works and their labor, not actually using their mind to actually see what's going on. And to a degree, this truth has become that way, because a lot of men they're powering and moving and they're pushing the truth, but a lot of men are in a dead state that are pushing the truth. Therefore, them that push the truth in a dead state, or in a state of a robber or thief or evildoer. Therefore, if you hearken unto men that's not of the Lord, that's teaching this truth, because you have many men teaching this truth. And like I say, this has become like the Matrix, and the thing about this thing is, you're going to have to see this thing for yourself, because that's why we've been bringing out discernment. And what Morpheus was giving Neo, he gave him major discernment. So when you understand this truth, it's all about discerning through the spirit. That's why Isaiah 11 said you won't judge by the ears, or you won't judge by what you see, which is carnal. You will judge this thing by the spirit, by how men move, by what they're saying, by what they're teaching about. Now at this time, we know Yahawashi is coming back, but who's actually in the spirit of the Lord? And one thing that we have learned over the years, we've seen men rise and fall, and the scriptures distinctly tell you in Matthew 23, the high seats men sit on actually corrupts men. So it's like, if you're sitting on a high seat, it's just a matter of time before you be corrupted. It's not if you're going to be corrupted. It's like, when are you going to be corrupted, or when did you become corrupted? And that's what's going on today. So you have to understand, and you have to see who's corrupted, teaching his word, and who is actually of the truth, teaching his word. For exception of a few elders and a few brothers, but for the large majority of elders and brothers that's teaching his word, they're not going to lead you to the road, to the path of salvation. They're going to lead you to the path of destruction. It becomes a point to where you don't need Morpheus anymore. That's why Morpheus was searching for Neo, and it became a point Neo actually believed, and he got stronger, and he actually seen this thing for himself. Now, this is not about being emotional. It's just about seeing this thing for what it really is. That's why the Lord said he didn't take them high seats. He departed from those high seats, because it's just a matter of time before you be corrupted. And then you teach in a way which is corrupted. You got to understand, Yahawashi taught in power. He taught in strength. And he taught topics all the time. Whenever he had the chance, he taught topics that actually meant something. And the thing about it is, we're living in a time now where a lot of these guys in the truth, they have become part of the Matrix. They have become batteries powering this truth, but not in a good way, in a way to corrupt men coming in. So you have to go that way that the Lord was talking about. It's only one way to go. And what Morpheus was showing Neo, that yeah, everything is basically part of the matrix, and men are still part of the matrix, actually teaching this truth. And you look at the guy Cypher, he snuck on a Nebuchadnezzar, and he was fucking corrupt. So what you have to understand is the way that Yahawashi came. He came in a particular way. He came with strength and power, and by the time he came, by the time he actually came on the planet, those men that were sitting on those high seats for all those years, they were corrupted. And it's sad to say we can actually see men are corrupted now that's teaching this word. So you can still teach this word, but it's how you're coming with this word. That's why I did a sit down the other day going through. It's not the kingdom of heaven. It's not just in word, but in power. It's a reason why the Lord said that. And the Lord, he taught he taught with authority, not as the scribes, because you're gonna have scribes, and you're gonna have wicked Pharisees and men sitting on these seats, and they're not gonna be coming in the spirit of Yahawashi. They're gonna be coming in the spirit that caters to this fucking world. And they may say the elect, or this is for the elect, but they're not teaching of the elect. And to a certain degree, this truth has become like the Matrix, where you have to find your way to where Yahawashi is. That's why it's gathering men unto Yahawashi. It's not necessarily gathering men unto men. You're actually gathering men's spirits to Yahawashi. This is John chapter 14, verse 6. Yahawashi said unto him, I am the truth, the way. Said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. You see, so the Lord is the only way to go. And so how did the Lord came? He came austere. He had authority over the spirits, and he came strong. And he offended many people. And his ministry was 3 years before he got put on that cross. So he really went all out before they crucified him. And who crucified him? His own people that were saying they were men of God too. The same men. But what happened with Yahawashi in those times, just like now, men have become corrupt, and in this time, men have become very corrupt. And the thing about Esau Edom, he has his hands into everything. The COINTELPRO and just they showed you that in that movie, The Black Messiah, where he actually pays Jakes to go into infiltrate groups to have men compromise, basically, to spy on them, to basically get them to look in the truth in another light, persuade men in different ways. And these things are going on today. So that's why you have to go back to the scriptures, and you have to understand how the Lord actually came. You have to understand that the Lord came in an austere spirit. The Lord came in a spirit to where it rebuked those demons. Now we have to look and observe who's actually rebuking demons, because the thing is, what you could do with this truth, you could take this truth and you could teach, and you could teach things that men are learning from. But the ultimate thing for guys to get out of this truth is the ways of Yahawashi. So men may teach a Yahawashi, but you have to ask, well, are men actually coming in authority, or are men actually sitting on high seats? And the only reason they're teaching is because they're on them high seats, not because they're actually in the spirit of Yahawashi, or is it because they're just on these high pedestals? See, the Holy Spirit is not out there available, and the Lord told you, well, in Jeremiah tells you that men ultimately become corrupt. All men are their hearts are corrupters. You see what I'm saying? Jeremiah 6 and 28. They are all grievous revolters, walking with slanders. They are brass and iron. They are all corrupters. And especially if you sit on high seats. And the thing about it, that's why the Lord, according to John the 6th chapter, he ran from those high seats. You see what I'm saying? He got out of there. But now we have men sitting in the place of high seats, being the preeminence. This is John chapter 14, 6 verse 14. Then I'm going to go into this lesson a little bit more. But I wanted to get a few points out the way because men can say they teach of Yahawashi. That's why this thing is a matrix now. The truth has become like the matrix in a type of way where you have all these things out there, but everybody's not actually of the Lord. Everybody's not sincere. Everybody's not here for the party, so to speak. And according to Matthew chapter 20, Matthew 13, and numerous parables, and us being in the 11th hour, what the Lord is doing now in this 11th hour, make sure he's pointing the men out through the Spirit, which are not actually in the spirit of him, but they say they are him. That's why they may say things with their mouth, but their heart is actually far from the Lord. You have to see how men are teaching and what the hell are they going into. You have to ask yourself, does this really matter? Does this really matter if this guy or this group or these men in the world, really, it doesn't matter what they think or they say? Because if you look at guys and be like, man, does it really matter about what this guy in this camp thinks, or what this guy thinks in the world, or what vocab thinks, or what ISUBK thinks, or these guys, what they think? What about Yahawashi? How did Yahawashi fucking move? How did he move? And the thing about it is, a lot of guys have lost Yahawashi. That's getting right to it, man. They've lost Yahawashi, and they will talk of Yahawashi because they have to bring him up. But guys are not moving in the way of Yahawashi. Actually, they're against that spirit of Yahawashi, and they're fucking offended of Yahawashi. And it's all a goddamn game with these guys. John chapter 6 verse 14. Then those men, when they seen the miracle that Yahawashi did, this is the truth of that prophet that should come in the world. So the people, they knew of Yahawashi because of the certain things that he did, but he was hated by the ones that were sitting on the high seats, those wicked scribes and those Pharisees. So check this out. When Yahawashi therefore perceived that they would come and take him by force to make him king, he departed into a mountain himself alone. So he's seen the fame coming. He's seen the big ups. He's seen that guys were going to come and try to make him put him on some type of pedestal or make him admired on a high level, which certain men, they deserve the honors. But at the end of the day, you got to understand that by men being put up on certain pedestals, it's just a matter of time before they end up being corrupted. You see what I'm saying? So it's not when they're going to be corrupted. It's not how they're going to be corrupted. It's like when you're going to be corrupted. And this is what you have to understand. The Lord ran from that seat. He ran to the mountains. Now that's the spirit and the way that the Lord walked. The Lord walked with authority. And every time the Lord spoke, it was something serious. It wasn't about men that don't fucking believe and they've been not believing. You see the spirit that's on a lot of guys, elders and fucking just tadpoles. They teach about men that don't even fucking matter. That's in the world, that's unbelievers. You see? And it's like you have platforms to go into these topics like this, and Yahawashi is the cornerstone of the scriptures. So you got to understand what we're in now. Now we're in a time where Morpheus is calling the last few Neos. And for the last few Neos, they're going to be of a quick understanding, which is going to be able to see through the spirit. All you have to do is be that Morpheus and point them in the right way right now, with it being the 11th hour. And by the 11th hour, men are corrupted by this hour. They are very corrupted. And the thing about it, they're coming in a subtle, nice way where you think, man, it could never be that way. It's very much that way. A lot of these guys are a part of the matrix. They've lost the spirit. Now what they have is an influence. And Yahawashi is not at the bulk of their talks because there's so many parables to go into. And you wonder why guys don't go into the parables. Well, we go into them. And it's a lot of light that's coming out of those parables in these last days that's really revealing everything that's going on. So that by that 11th hour, men were fucking corrupted. And as the Lord said, the hour is going to come where the true worshipers are going to actually worship the Lord in spirit and in truth. Because by the time to the 11th hour, the majority of men, they were idle. And a lot of men got lazy, and a lot of men lost the spirit. A lot of men still teaching his word, but they're not in the spirit of the Lord. They may speak of the Lord, but they're not moving like the Lord. And it's a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke what guys is talking about at the end of the world. As far as getting your minds geared into the way and the life and how the Lord actually walked and them walking in it, they're not doing it. And it's a fucking joke. A lot of guys are lukewarm. You see? Now this is Luke chapter 6, verse 22. It says, blessed when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. So it's blessed when you're spoken of as evil. It says, rejoice in that day, and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven, for in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. So it's a beautiful thing to be hated and not liked right now in the world, in this fucking world, not a social media or YouTube guru on some type of fucking level. Like we give honor and respect to a few apostles, but even then with that, a lot of guys are fucking corrupted by this time right now. A lot of guys are corrupt. This ain't a respected person. This is the truth. And the truth, a lot of guys don't have Yahawashi. They just have audiences to appease. You see? The serious of Yahawashi, when you go back to those parables, when the Lord taught this word, he didn't teach this word he didn't teach this word going into topics that don't fucking matter. Only thing that matters is Yahawashi, because he is the key to the Lord. Not these fucking guys in the world. Not no fucking vocab, but all these guys. See, the thing about it is, guys have lost the Lord and they've gained the world. So they have to teach to the world. And going into women and all this bullshit and people dying in the world. That's what people want, because the majority of people are of the fucking world. So you're not actually teaching to the elect. Guys are teaching to the fucking world. Because it's better to be hated in this world, especially if you have this truth. But we see men that have this truth, they want to be liked of the world. But the Lord said, rejoice when you're hated. Because the Lord said, as I was hated, you shall be hated too. You see, you're not supposed to be a fucking superstar. And that's what happened when the Lord came on the scene. The majority of men were corrupted with the Lord's word because they were on high. They were on high. Let me read this real quick and go back. Luke 14:10. But when thou art bidden, go sit and go. Let me read this. Let me start at 8. Luke 14:8. When thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not in the highest room, lest there be a more honorable man than thou be bidding. Now it says, he that bade thee, and him come and say to thee, give this man a place, thou begin to shame and to take the Lord's room. That's right. So you're supposed to take the Lord's seat. But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he have bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher, then thou shalt have worship in the presence of them that are set to meet. So the Lord is telling you that you're supposed to be on the low. You're supposed to be a nobody. That's what you're supposed to be. That's what you're supposed to be. That's why by the 11th hour, man will corrupt. But what the Lord did, he used men to put this truth out on a large scale. Knowing that, see, the Lord, knowing that the fame and the notoriety and the likes of men will corrupt you, he had to use men to actually get this truth out there. Now the truth is out there. Now the truth is out there by the 11th hour. But so now the hour has come where the true worshipers will worship the Lord with all their heart and all their might. While the majority of guys have been corrupted by the fame, being the top this and being the top that and being this, and this. A lot of guys were going to lose the Lord by the 11th hour. That is the whole secret to this whole thing. And a lot of men are fucking corrupted. Now, the way men are teaching, it's not what they're teaching, it's how they're coming. Yeah, and then certain things they're going into too. It raised a red fucking flag. If you're a brother that can actually see through the spirit, you see what's going on. Now it says, for whoso exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humble himself shall be exalted. Right? So men that's exalted right now at this time, what's going to happen is they're going to be abased. And that's why the 11th hour comes into play, because it was going to be a time where the Lord was going to bring the hour of the true worshipers. See, that hour has come. We're in that hour. And those men are going to be hated until Yahawashi come back. So everybody that's on these seats that have the likes of men, they're going to be abased. Luke chapter 6, verse 24, because they're teaching in the way of the world. They're not teaching to elect. They're teaching to the worldwide audience. And they're not teaching in authority. They're teaching as the scribes to keep their followers. Luke chapter 6, verse 24. But woe unto you that are rich, ye have received your consolation. Not as just guys in the fucking world that's rich in the world. Guys that's rich in this truth. Rich in fame, subscribers, attention. Rich in things of this world. That's what the Lord's talking about too. It says, for you that are full, you shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep later. Right? A lot of men, they're teaching the word. And the thing about it, by how they're teaching, they receive their fucking constellation. Because if you're not teaching in the manner where this is very serious and very urgent, and this is a way that you have to understand that this is not no joke. So if you really had like a platform out there, like we have a platform, us brothers, but it's not for the whole fucking world. You know, it's for those few brothers that actually that's of Yahawashi. But for as these other guys you may see, guys high up and low up, they're using the YouTube platform and they have many subscribers because legions are many. The true men of the Lord is not going to be that many like that, and they're not going to be famous at all. So by the 11th hour, men were going to be famous, but they fell off in the spirit. The Lord tells you right here, Luke 6 and 24, but woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. A lot of men receive what they actually wanted, so that's why they're not actually teaching the Lord in the spirit and in the power, because they've received their consolation. And they've become part of this matrix, which is going to hold a lot of guys back and get a lot of guys destroyed because they're not a part of Yahawashi. See, you can be in the camp, you could be in the truth, but are you in Yahawashi? That's what's being found. And that's what the wedding is about in Matthew 22. Matthew 22 explains to you that some men that's in this truth, they don't belong in this wedding. And so just like Matrix on the flip side with Neo was in that party where he didn't belong, and the Morpheus is pulling the Neos out through the spirit. So we're gathering men to Yahawashi through the spirit, where they can actually see this for themselves once you bring out these certain things in the scriptures, and not according to emotions, not according to who you like, or, oh, I've been knowing this guy for all this. See, the thing is with the fame, that's why the Lord got the fuck away from the fame. And Korah in number 16, which guys skip over that, which a lot of these scriptures like Matthew 23, it got guys' numbers. It got your fucking numbers because a lot of you recognize you're sitting on high seats and you're not in the stead of Yahawashi. Yahawashi came in meek and lowly. He didn't have no position in this fucking world. He wasn't up top, no type of way. He just was known because he was healing people. But our people, the corrupt ones of our people right now, they're taking this truth. They're not really teaching this truth. They're not really breaking down Yahawashi like that. They're not really letting you know that you got to be in the spirit of Yahawashi, not the spirit of these goofy ass guys in the world, or not the spirit of a lot of guys teaching his word right now. Because how guys are teaching right now, it's like, what the fuck? You know, Yahawashi, sacrifice himself, and you can't make him you all the things that the Lord, but it's not meant for guys to go into it. It's only meant for a few to go into it because guys are not of Yahawashi. They're not disciples of the Lord. Just like Revelations 19, you have to be a witness of the Lord. So a lot of guys are not witnesses, but they're using the Lord's word. So through the Spirit, that's where we come in and we bring this word out to a degree that you can actually see who's actually of the Lord and who's not. Now Luke chapter 6, verse 25, woe unto you that are full, that it says, for ye shall hunger. For woe unto you who laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did the fathers to the false prophets. So if you have a lot of men on your comment board or a lot of guys bigging you up, you have to understand that that's the way of the false prophets. And how do we do good to them that actually hate us? We actually teach them who the fuck they are. That's who we tell. Now they might not like it, but that's who you are according to the scriptures. See, a lot of guys, they can't go away from the fame. They have to get some fame. And the way they're teaching is they want to keep that fame. You know, they don't want to be looked in a bad light. While they're talking about other guys that's truly not of the Lord. And we, you know, this bullshit with these other camps, ISUPK, and where is the speaking of Yahawashi like that constantly? Because guys are not of Yahawashi. Even your biggest preeminence camp, guys have been compromised. And I don't give a fuck how much knowledge or history or scriptures they can bring out, because Satan, he knew the scriptures and shit like that too. You know, he had the keys to take you up on that mountain and show you all them things. So you don't think Satan, he knows a thing or two? So what you have to understand is what the Lord is doing is opening your eyes and letting you know, hey, the ones that's of me, they're going to hear the voice of the Lord. And the Lord is just only speaking to a few. By the time the 11th hour, a lot of men have been corrupted because they sitting on those high seats, which the Lord didn't want you to sit in those high seats. But what he did, he had to use men to bring this truth out. So a lot of guys that's been bringing this truth out over the years, a lot of those men been corrupted because they have gotten the fame, and that corrupts you. That's why the ones that come in, the true worshipers, and at the 11th hour, that special hour, that hour that's come, they're going to be worshiping the Lord in spirit and truth, and they're not going to be liked. And that's how it's supposed to go. Now, John chapter 10, verse 1, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door, but into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. So what guys are doing right now, by them not coming in the spirit of Yahawashi, by them not actually speaking Yahawashi like that, by them not bringing the Lord out like that, taking his word and going up another way, going into topics that don't fucking matter. They're coming up another fucking way. By them coming in another spirit. They're not coming in an authoritative spirit. They're not coming in a spirit as Yahawashi. The Lord said, I came not to bring peace, but a sword. And when you listen to these guys and the music and the shit behind their background, all that shit is to put you to sleep. That peaceful shit. The Lord said he is a man of war. And in Isaiah 63, the Lord said he's coming back with vengeance. A lot of guys are not teaching with vengeance. They're teaching to keep your ass asleep. And a lot of guys are of Satan. And they've climbed into these high seats and these famous seats to stir the majority of men the wrong way, away from Yahawashi. Because where Yahawashi is actually resting on a few brothers, they're evil spoken of. And according to Matthew 53, they hid his face from the Lord. So they're doing the same thing to the ones that's actually in the spirit of the Lord right now. Because they're meant to do that. And the ones that's corrupt, they're on the high seats. You might have a few exceptions, but the way it's looking, man, every day, guys are just, they're teaching the truth, but then they're not teaching the truth. So they say they're Yahawashi, but then they're not really moving like the Lord actually did. So a lot of men are thieves and robbers because they're climbing up another motherfucking way. It says, but he that entereth by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. Right, what's the entering of the door? That straight gate, that narrow gate, the gate where you're going to be hated. And it was set up like that. And Salakia. And it was set up that way. It was actually set up for certain men to take this truth and get it out there all over the world, and then they ass be cast off into outer darkness. Because we've seen that over the years. That's why you don't want to be famous. You don't want guys to speak well of you. You want to be hated like the Lord said. So how do you be hated? You moving away like Yahawashi. Therefore, if you're not moving like Yahawashi, you're not going to be hated, man. You're going to be liked. You know, we know women are going to be saved, but this truth ain't about women. This truth ain't about ISUBK. It ain't about Nate. It's not about Sakari. It's not about all these fucking worldly motherfuckers in the world. It's not about Serena Williams. It's not about none of these motherfuckers in the world. This truth is about walking in Yahawashi. And a lot of these guys that's sitting up top that's famous, they had a hand in murdering Yahawashi. Because if they did, they'd be bringing out the parables more. But a lot of guys are fucking corrupted. Now it says, verse 3, to him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he called his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. And that's what Morpheus did with Neo. Morpheus had that specific type of knowledge and the specific type of things that Neo needed to follow. Now these guys, that's teaching the word on high now, and everybody that's famous, they're teaching in a particular way that's going to lead you back to Satan. It's not going to lead you to Yahawashi. It's a fucking joke. And you could teach information, and you could teach guys knowledge, and you could do this, and you could do certain things. But guys speak of Yahawashi, and they're not moving like Yahawashi. They're not in the warlike matter like David. Guys say they're the house of David, but you're not in a warlike spirit like David. And it's a fucking joke. And a lot of you guys, you're playing yourself. You're playing yourself. And that's why the fire of the altar of the men's true men, the fire never go out. It'll continue to fucking keep burning. It'll continue to fucking keep burning. And if you're of the Lord, you're going to burn motherfuckers up. So that word in John chapter 10, I want to get that word porter. Because the Lord said the porter opened, and then what? You're being led out by those men of Yahawashi that's in the spirit. See what the fame does, and what the notoriety and being noticed and sitting on high seats, what that does, it corrupts you. It's not if it's going to corrupt you, it's when it's going to corrupt you, or did it already corrupt you already? And that's what we have with a lot of guys sitting on high seats. And guys can speak nice all they fucking want, but Yahawashi didn't come nice. You see what I'm saying? By the time he came, the guys that were sitting on top, they were fucking through. They were corrupted. They actually hate the Lord. They hated the strength and the power the Lord spoke in. They hated it. So therefore they hated it. They didn't come in the spirit of the Lord, but they were teaching the Lord's word. And it's the same shit today. Guys are not coming in a spirit of fierceness, force, vengeance, a spirit of the sword. The Lord said he come not to bring peace, but a sword. The Lord said that he's not coming back as a man. John the Baptist paved the way for Yahawashi, and he was steady cussing guys out. Who the fuck warned you from the evil to come? You demons out there. See, John the Baptist and the real prophets, they can see. And what's going on now, a lot of guys, they're not of the Lord. So that word porter in John chapter 10, the word porter.
Strong's G 2377. Thuroras.
Right, so that word right there, porter, it says a doorkeeper. You see? A doorkeeper. It says a male or female janitor, but that's going on. But the doorkeeper, it says that keeps the door. You see? So a lot of guys are not the doorkeepers of the Lord. They're teaching to the multitude, got the majority of men going to Satan, even though they're using Yahawashi. It's just like the Christian church, but it got a Hebrew spin on it. You see what I'm saying? So guys can speak of Yahawashi, but guys are not in the spirit of Yahawashi. They're not the doorkeepers. They're not the shepherds to get you back to the spirit of the Lord, not to the camp, Not to the camp leaders, to the spirit of Yahawashi, to the way that the Lord actually moved. A lot of men are not moving that way. They're not teaching in authority because they're not the authority. They're against the authority. And just like today, guys hide their face. You see? And everything that we say is not going on deaf ears. It's not going on deaf ears. A lot of you guys better fucking consider it. If not, you're gonna die, man. A lot of you guys. But it's meant for a lot of you to guide guys the wrong fucking way. So we're gathering men unto Yahawashi. A lot of men are gathering men unto themselves. That's why the Lord said all that came before him was thieves and robbers. Let me finish this, man. See, Yahawashi spoke in a particular type of way. And by the time of the 11th hour, men were corrupted. But they were still going to be teaching. So now the discernment comes in when you have to discern who's of the Lord really. Or they just saying that shit. You see? To him the portal openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name and leadeth him out. And what did Morpheus do to Neo? He led him out. You know, he led him out of that deep sleep he was in. And when he put forth his own sheep, he go up before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. So Yahawashi's men, even though you guys think you're gonna fool the elect, they're gonna see that a lot of you guys are phonies by now. By the 11th hour, guys are gonna see a lot of things by now, because they're gonna contemplate all the things that's been happening, and they're gonna go to the scriptures, and they're gonna see how Yahawashi came, how the prophets came, and through the process of fame and men being corrupted, guys are not coming in the spirit of Yahawashi, even though they may say you got to do this of Yahawashi, but they're not walking the way of the Lord. They're not offending. They're not rebuking the demons off of people. They're not moving like the Lord did. Every time they speak, nobody want to kill them. Nobody want to kill these guys every time they speak. Every time the men of the Lord speak, they spoke with astonishment, and guys felt the type of way. It says, and when he put forth his own sheep, he go up before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And the stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know the voice of the strangers. And a lot of men are going to come in this 11th hour, and they're going to see the corruption. And it's only for a few men to actually see the way of truth. Now it says, this parables Yahawashi spake unto them, but they understood not the things of what were which he spake of them. And then Yahawashi said unto them again. So he's going to break it down again. And this is what you got to understand, because you have to understand that Yahawashi laid down his life for the sheep. And when the Lord had this word, right, he wasn't teaching about vocab Malone or motherfuckers that didn't matter. He was cussing their ass out like Matthew 23. Guys are not in that spirit. They don't even touch Matthew 23. And then when they fuck around and go break down number 16, it's all fucked up. So guys are compromised. I don't know if you guys see it or not, but the elect will see it. And you got to get to Yahawashi on your own. This is not about following men because you like them. It's about you making it. You see what I'm saying? John chapter 10, verse 7. Then Yahawashi said again. So this is again. The Lord is going to go into this again. Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. Right? Yahawashi is the door. So why isn't he spoke of more and more and more? Because a lot of guys are not of the Lord. And they have these platforms. But the thing about it is they can't really use these platforms for that. They got to use these platforms to stir your ass off in another fucking way. Now it says, listen to this, verse 8, John 10 and 8. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. All that came before the Lord was just thieves and robbers. So you got to look at it. When you go back to before the Lord came, guys were sitting on these high seats. They were corrupted. Matthew 23, everything they do is to be seen of men. Matthew 23, the high seats. Matthew 23 and certain scriptures guys never go into are key components in these last days. That's how you see a lot of guys are corrupted. That's why we don't watch a lot of guys. We don't watch famous guys. We don't watch famous top guys. We don't watch a lot of guys. The only thing we're doing is we're seeing how they're coming. And you don't want to come like none of these guys are coming. You got to come like the Lord and the prophets. Therefore, when you come like the Lord and the prophets, you have no room for this world to fucking like you. Only for the elect to like you. And these guys leave room for the world to like them, and that's why they're teaching this word to be seen of men, which a lot of guys are going to die. Now it says, all that came before me, all that ever came before me are thieves and robbers. But the sheep did not hear him, for I am the door, and if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and go in, and shall go in and out, and find pastures. The thief cometh not, but to steal, kill, and destroy. And I am come that they might have life, and they might have it more abundantly. Right. So everybody before the Lord came, their whole thing was to take this word and kill and destroy guys by not teaching in the spirit and not coming like the Lord. Guys are not coming like the Lord. It's a fucking joke out there. And it's sad too. It's real sad. That's why if you're a true seer, you don't really need to watch anybody like that. We don't. Because guys are evil by this 11th hour. Also by that 11th hour, guys are totally fucking corrupt by that 11th hour teaching this word. And when we talk about this word, we're dealing with guys in this truth, not in the fucking world really, because the world's through. We're dealing with the world of the truth. So this world of the truth has become like the Matrix in a way. Everybody's corrupt now. And then you have to see the way through Yahawashi and who's actually in Yahawashi. That's what you have to see. Now it says, I am come that they might have life and they might have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giving his life for the sheep. So ain't the Lord words worth being spoken of? That should be the fucking center of what you're supposed to be going into. But guys are wicked. They're wicked, man. They're wicked. They're wicked, man. Slack it. Yeah, guys are totally turned out by the 10th hour. And that's why the Lord told you in John 4, he said the hour is coming where the true worshipers. He was talking about that hour. It was a particular hour where the Lord had to send men back in again. Because when his word first came out, you can see that a lot of elders and a lot of men, some men died. Some men went back in the world. A lot of men died through the spirit. And what we're seeing is now a lot of guys, they don't have the spirit, but they're still teaching by the 11th hour. And now so the 11th hour is going to happen to where the true worshipers was really going to come in and really have an effect. You see? Now it says, verse 12, but he that is a hireling and not spareth, and not the shepherd whose own sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming and leadeth the sheep, and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them and scattereth the sheep. Right? A lot of men are fleeing through the spirit because the way is to walk in Yahawashi, to teach men of Yahawashi, how the Lord came, how the Lord walked with integrity. So a lot of guys are fleeing because they're not in the spirit of the Lord. So they're just teaching. They're just teaching. They're just a tinkling sound, like it tells you in 1 Corinthians 13. Well, Paul tells you crooked motherfuckers, that all the shit that you actually know, it don't mean shit if you don't have the love of the Lord in you and you don't have charity. You see, so all these things guys have, the history and all these scriptures and knowledge and all that, it don't mean shit if you really don't have Yahawashi, which he is the weightier matters of the law, pursuing to Matthew 23. So pursuing to Matthew 23, a lot of you guys can't go there because you sit in those seats. Now it says, the hireling fleeth because he is an hireling and careth not for the sheep. Right, guys don't give a fuck about the sheep. That's why they want to gather as many as they can. And it says, as the Father knoweth me, even so I know the Father. I lay down my life for the sheep, and the other sheep which I have are not of this fold. Of them I must bring, that they hear my voice, and they shall be one fold, says the shepherd. Now it says, therefore doeth the Father love me, because I lay down my life, that I might take it again. No man taketh it from me, and I lay it down myself. I have the power to lay it down, and I have the power again to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father. And there was a division, therefore, again among the Jews for these sayings. So the Lord brought division in a righteous way. And the Jews that was on top, these are the wicked men that's on top today. A lot of guys are wicked today. And they said, many of them said, this man have a devil and is mad. Why hear ye him? Why listen to him? That sounds familiar, don't it? That sounds familiar. And others says, are not these are not words of him that have a devil? Can a devil open the eyes of the blind? So the Lord came and he brought division. He spoke with power. He died for the sheep. And every time the Lord taught a sermon, and every time let's just say today, every time you listen to a brother's video, if you're not really getting edified and guys going into these weak ass topics of guys in the world, Serena Williams and the Illuminati and all this bullshit guys going into, they're not of the Lord. And they're swearing you a wrong fucking way, but they're using the Lord's scriptures. So they might say all praises to Yahawashi, but they're not really of Yahawashi. And that's what the Lord was telling you. Everybody that came before him was a thief and a robber. So the 11th hour, so by the 11th hour, every man that was in this truth before them that came in at 11th hour, for the majority of men that's in this truth, they're all a bunch of thieves and a fucking robbers. And now the Lord is sending in a man to clean up, to do the real dirty work. Which a lot of you guys, you're not good to do that dirty work because you're part of the fucking world. And through the power of Yahawashi, on the right hand side, on the righteous side, the Lord will bring every last one of you goddamn crooked motherfuckers down through the spirit of this word. And that's what it's doing. So you will not fool the elect, but you could have the multitude. So I just had to bring this out, man. Gathering men unto Yahawashi. With that, shalom.